Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm Mike Stansbury. Thanks for joining us today. We have Chris Lengquist out of Kansas City, the state of Kansas City, and a lot of other places he's operating out of. Chris, how are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much.
Well, hey, thanks for being here. We're going to get into your origin story and what you're doing now to help people in the real estate marketplace. But first, we got to talk about Investor Fuel. At Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, and real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x their businesses to allow them to build the businesses they've always wanted and allow them to live the lives they've always dreamed of. Chris, before we get into the meat and potatoes of what we're doing now, tell me the origin story. What were you doing before maybe you pivoted into real estate? Have you always been in real estate? What's the hero's journey there?
I'm not sure it was a hero's journey at first. I was a serial entrepreneur who couldn't figure out how to make money, for years and years and years. And when I was 38 years old, I'd lived in DC for 15 years, and we had decided to move to Tulsa, and I had been doing photography and working with real estate agents in a photography, capacity. When I got to Tulsa, I found out people didn't pay for photography the same way. And so I decided I'm going to get my real estate license because none of those people were any brighter than I was. I know that was the ego, that was the whatever. So I got online, got my license inside of a week, hung it up with a broker. And frankly, I was coming to work every day, but wasn't getting a lot of traction. Did have a couple of sales, but then my broker came to me one day and he says, "Hey, I got this townhouse out in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, that I'll let you do all the work and pay you less than half the money." And I was like, "I'm in, man." Like I'm just trying to make a living doing this kind of thing. So I got that townhouse sold in a few weeks. And then like a month and a half later, I got a call from that seller again. And he said, "Hey, I talked to Randy. He said it was okay if I talked to you. I've got 4 more townhouses in there if you'd like to sell those for me." I got to tell you, Mike, I didn't know you could own more than 1 or 2 houses. Like it never occurred to me. I just hadn't been in that circle. And over the course of the next 2 years, I sold 23 homes for that man. And every time I sold a home for him, I would have to take him his physical check to his office because he was a big banker. And he would sit me down and he would teach me real estate investing. He goes, "I just need an agent that understands real estate investing." And I got a free education on how to work with real estate investors and make money along the way. Why he did that, I still don't know to this day, but it's part of my journey now. Is I do a lot of education. I tend to sell a lot through education. I get all of these things basically because I just educate the way he taught me.
So one of the things I think that is so interesting about that is, we don't know what we don't know. You obviously we all operate sometimes out of our ego, but you had the curiosity to sit down with him, and obviously he saw, okay, he's paying attention, he's listening, he's executing, and so he would, I guess, teach you as you were going down the the path of getting things done for him and solving his problem, which obviously he wanted these properties sold. And so, you take that, though you do the 23 deals, and then what's the next iteration of Chris's life in real estate? Because you're doing a lot of things now that are different, but it seems like that was the foundation.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Well, that was the foundation. It started all the way back in 2002. And about 3 years into my real estate career down there, I was doing good, making a name for myself. But I was born and raised in Kansas City. And my mom was going through her third bout of breast cancer, and we were driving back and forth. So I said, let's go home. And my wife agreed. So we packed up our family, moved up there. And I knew I was going to do real estate sales again. And I really am not cut out for the regular home buyers and sellers. I'm cut out for the math of real estate. Like I don't care what color the kitchen is. Does the house make money? And so when I got to Kansas City, I looked around and I couldn't find more than one, maybe two people that were specializing in investors in 2004. And so that's what I started doing. And everybody told me I was crazy. There's not a big enough market for it. But I just got to work with everything I'd been taught, everything I'd been learning on my own, and started marketing myself as that. And Mike, it just took off. And then just as the Great Recession happened, I was making more money than I'd ever made in my life. And I took a 30% hit like everybody else. But because I'm very conservative and hadn't spent it all, I just reinvested it back to the business and kept talking about it. And I had a blog, and it's still out there. It's bbqcapital.com. But I wrote on that blog every day from 2006 to 2015. 2006 was the Stone Age for blogging. And I probably still make six figures a year on evergreen content from that. People find me, contact us, and we go from there. So
you consistently put your head down and did the same thing every day. And obviously there's listen, between that time with all the iterations of what real estate was going through, there's a lot to talk about nationally and locally. So, I love it that you took advantage of that. So a lot of folks that are similar to you, like they just did it. It was part of their daily method of operation, and it continues to pay off. It's the YouTuber that starts out with no subscriber that continues to post even when nobody's watching. It's a testament to just being boring or consistent. I think it's more consistent, but that's it. I mean, that's what pays dividends, is consistently investing in yourself every day, doing the same thing, and maybe doing it just a little bit better. So I love it. That makes me very happy that you put that effort into it, and it's still paying off. So tell us, fast forward to today, like what are we doing today? How are you helping people in your local market, but also how are you helping other property managers or people that are in your field that are, want to level up?
So I'm 60 years old now. I've been doing this 25, 26 years, and I'm more excited about the future than I've ever been. Because here's what I've come to understand. While I may not be the most exciting teacher in the world, and I'm actually still teaching the same things I was teaching in 2006. But what I'm teaching, there is a constant new wave of people trying to figure out a way to secure their retirement worth having. There's a new bunch of people that are looking at numbers and going, is that real or is that real? Who do I trust? Who do I believe in? And most of all, The thing that I'm on a real big push for right now is customer service for the good of the client or customer, not just what's good for your bottom dollar. And that may sound pie in the sky or whatever, but here's what I've learned over my life. If you serve people, you'll make all the money you want to make. Now, you can do that through all the different ways of real estate investing or real estate sales. I hear a lot of creativeness on this podcast about how they get into investing because maybe they don't have a lot of money to start with. For me, my ticket was the real estate license, right? And that's just how I chose to do it. But at the end of the day, what I'm working on now is all of this AI and all of these automations, because I've told my teams and the people I work with, we're going to double and triple down on this because I want to be on the front foot. But make no mistake, if I catch you hiding behind technology, you will go the way of the people who didn't adapt to technology. The technology is so that we can get further in front of our people and we can answer their questions before they ask.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
And if they do happen to reach out to us, by gosh, we better be available for them because that's the world we live in now.
So that's a really good, so that's how you're filtering it for you and your team is, hey, AI is going to be great, but it's not, it doesn't cloak us in who we are as human beings. It's like at the end of the day, you know, the reason why we're here and helping all these people is because they trust us, not in a bot. So I love that. And I love the fact that, you know, I think your qualifier is, hey, I'm 60 years old, sir. You're still young. You got a lot of time. I love that you're excited about, like, hey, you know, the next 10, 15, 20 years, specifically in real estate, because I like you, I think that the one thing that I see, and this is probably a common thread through a lot of entrepreneurs, is just the optimism that we wake up with every day, even if it doesn't matter what vehicle that we're in. If you're an entrepreneur and you're a business owner and you've succeeded or you've been through a valley and come out of it and learned something and are keeping in that direction, I think you wake up with some optimism, and there's no excuse for people not to be have a level of optimism, especially with what's coming down the pipe in the world of technology.
I loved what Gary Keller said one time. He said, there may be a recession, but you don't have to participate. And that's just, you know, this is my third recession, because make no mistake, we are in a real estate recession as far as units go. And maybe we're starting to come out of it. There's some indicators that are starting to show that. But when you've been down 30% sales for 2.5 to 3 years, that's why a lot of people are hurting right now in this business.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think the one thing that that colors this industry so much is if you got in 2021, 2022, you haven't been through cycles, and so you don't know the pain now, but you don't know the pain in context. And the pain in context is, did you read through what happened in 2008, what happened in 1999 and 2000, and those things, what happened in 1981. And so we always lose that, especially the younger folks that come in this business. You know, we as I guess the old guard need to help show them, like, hey,
absolutely,
this is part of the cyclical nature. Sometimes you just gotta be better at what you do and endure it, and have that same mantra that Gary talked about. I love Gary. Gary is somebody that just is. I love anything that's going on in the world. He just has this other kind of view, and you gotta really think about how he articulates it. But you don't have to participate in a recession if you don't want to. But most people
made more money in the Great Recession than I'd ever made in my life. I was disappointed when it started coming around. I started getting worried. Like, it's like,
as somebody who buys distressed houses for a living, that's what I do. Is like I don't like when people are in distress, but I do like helping them solve problems. And when there's more problems to solve, I certainly do a lot more winning. So I understand the sentiment there. But tell me specifically, Chris, like tell me who you're, what are you, who are you coaching now? Who's your avatar for somebody that maybe you mentor, coach, or if you have a mastermind group? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, so my latest venture is about 6 weeks ago. We started ramping up a YouTube page. So I'm just taking all those years of writing and putting them on video now. And that's at Astor Realty. You can find it on there. But who I'm mentoring is I work with property managers who are trying to figure out how to create a profitable property management company. And if you watch some of the investor websites out there, there's people who love property management, people who really don't like property management. And I think property management is an important piece of the puzzle. Whether you're managing your own or managing somebody else's, the crimp in the hourglass is always maintenance, right? But I think how people view what the asset is and what the tenants deserve from that asset really creates either a partnership or a conflict between property managers and property owners.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
And one of the things I do is I spend a great deal of time teaching property managers how to fire certain real estate investors. Or because real estate investors can be right when they say, well, all the property manager does is collect rent, charge their thing, and they don't do anything else. Okay, well, then you should fire them. But property managers should also fire investors who only want the return and won't reinvest in the house. Like it's not my fault if I keep recommending painting and then 8 years later you think you should have the same rents as everybody else in the neighborhood, and that your 8-year-old carpet, your 8-year-old paint, your 8-year-old lawn, all this kind of stuff, and then you want the same thing. We're not seeing eye to eye, and we haven't for some time, so it's time for you to go. Maybe I'm oversimplifying that, but it's got to be a partnership. And there's plenty of ways to provide great housing for people, to make a lot of money as a property manager, and to make a lot of money as an investor. I mean, that may be that dream, once called Rome, or the city, the light on the top of the hill. But that's what we're working towards every single day.
So just to recap, you're trying to create a culture between real estate investor and property manager where it's more of a, hey, I want to hear how you're investing in real estate, what you've done in the past, but let me educate you on how to best manage this property going forward and what that entails from here, maybe 3 to 5 years down the road. Are you like that old Stephen Covey line? Are you beginning with the end in mind with the relationship? Yeah.
Yep. One of my favorite questions to ask people is how is saving that money costing you more? Because oftentimes it is. If a prospective tenant comes in and sees that you don't care about the property, why are they going to care about the property? And if the really good tenant sees that and says, I don't want to live here. So it's costing you money by not investing in your asset. That asset is appreciating 6, 8, 12% over the last 5 years. Spend some money on it to keep it fresh.
Right. I love it. And I think that the whole housing industry, if we had that type of mantra between property manager and real estate investor, I think we would, the actual house would be better, and the tenants. So, one of the things I can already kind of tell without even asking is that the quality of property, obviously it attracts the quality of tenant. I think the thing and I'll ask you this question, compare a tenant application 10 years ago to what you can do now.
Yeah. Tenants are under a lot of stress right now. And we manage at almost every price point. And I don't believe that the lowest price points have to be in the same condition as the highest price points, but it's got to be at least as good or better than everything that's around it. But the tenants today are under more financial stress. What is it? 40% of the country has medical debt on their application. It's crazy. And there's just been so many more increases in their world. So my fiduciary duty is to the owners, but my customers are the tenants. And the more we can work with tenants, the better off we can be. But there's more fraud in tenancy right now. People will apply and they'll get turned down, and then they'll challenge it on their credit card, and then I get billed back, for telling them that they didn't qualify for the home, and they say it's fraud. No, I mean, I just think that there's a lot more desperation out there than there used to be 10 years ago, and they make references to everything. So protect yourself as best you can.
Yeah, we're seeing the same things in my market. My market is Memphis, by the way, and I do have a bone to pick with you about your name about barbecue that you had earlier. But we won't go into Kansas City versus Memphis.
We're the Constantinople of barbecue, man.
That's a good descriptor. I'll take that. Yeah, across the board, I talk to people in our market all the time, and they're dealing with the most innovative tenant applications they've ever seen. Like, even with all the technology that they have. I have a guy in my market that is a great property manager, and he just told me about, like, dude, I got burnt. Like, I actually can't believe that I got one pulled over on me. I thought I knew all the tricks. I didn't. And so it is pretty wild. It's just very, very different out there. So Chris, let me ask you this. Where can people find out more about you, about your blog, your YouTube channel? Kind of speak to that for a minute. If somebody wants to get in touch with you, hey, I'm in property management, I'm struggling, I may need a coach, where can they find you at?
Well, I'm at adastrarealty.com, ADASTRA, realty.com. And if you go to YouTube, you can find it by just at adastrarealty.com. And those are basically the two best sources to reach me. I've got other websites out there. I've got other ventures out there, but they all lead back to there. They all lead back to that email. And I know it sounds pie in the sky, but I've had mentors like Phil and Jeff in my life, and they poured into me, and I never sent a single nickel their way. And my money's fine. I mean, I'm not flying around on private G2s or anything along those lines, but I'm at a stage in my life where not only do I want to run the best property management that we're capable of running, but I also want to make sure that other people have the same pathway forward should they choose to do so, based on the experience I've gained. And if it's not for you, that's great. There are a lot smarter people than me out there. I'm just a college dropout that read a few books and listened to a few people and then just did the work. So, but I'm just offering the experience that from where I came from.
Well, folks, that is some great stuff from Chris Lengquist out of Kansas City. Thank you, Chris, for being on the Real Estate Pros podcast. Folks, all the information that Chris talked about will be in the show notes below, so feel free to go over there, go to his stuff, and reach out to him if you feel like, hey, I'd love to be coached, mentored, and consume some of his content. Folks, thanks again for being and watching the Real Estate Pros podcast. Chris, any final words, sir?
I would just say thank you for the work you're doing. I discovered you guys. I love listening to the different perspectives out there, and sometimes they make me think, oh, yeah, maybe I could. So keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Chris. Folks, thanks again for watching the Real Estate Pros podcast. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.